And welcome back. The city has played a role to help the Brooklyn community recover. In one office leading the charge is Monsi. That's the mayor's office of neighborhood safety and engagement. Chief of staff there, Chanel White, is joining us this morning. Good to see you, Chanel.
Good morning.
For people who don't understand the boots on the ground effort that Monsi had, just take us all the way back last year and what you needed to do to reconnect with Brooklyn.
So last year, I think it was a shock to all of us. It was extremely unexpected, and it was something that we strive every day to prepare for as a city or government agency. But when it actually happens and you have to react, I think Monsi was amazing in the response. I think we were on the ground by noon that day, speaking to residents, trying to figure out what resources they needed versus other people who may not be from that community, telling us what they think the community needs. Nobody knows like somebody who's actually in it, living it, experiencing it every day, as to exactly what help should be offered during this time. Resources from counseling, trauma counseling, just making sure that we gave them any type of outlet to be able to process the events that occurred that day.
And trust had to be rebuilt. I mean, you're going door to door, you held events, but I think that was a lot of making sure your face was just as present as theirs.
Yeah, and we have to build trust first and foremost, because a lot of times you hear like they're only going to be here for a few, and then after the cameras are gone, they're gone. Monsi has been a consistent force within that community since the events of last year, offering resources, offering guidance, offering outlets. We've had 2,000 engagements from events, from community members, and we've had about 22 who have received assistance directly, as far as recently, that have received assistance directly. And then we're referring them to outside sources, our partnerships, our stakeholders, who can offer things that we may not have in-house, but are offering and calling and asking us, how can we help?
Yeah, one stakeholder has really, put roots in right now, and that's new from the city, is Safe Streets. They are ever present. You guys had a big rollout, a big party outside, but there's something about, I think, the trust among people in that organization as well when they're dealing with people in the community. There's there's a back and forth that I don't know we all can have.
I think Safe Streets is unique in that they have experienced a lot of these issues or traumas that the residents of not just Brooklyn Homes, but Baltimore City in general have experienced. So they're able to relate in a way where the trust and the time that it takes to build that trust is almost established immediately, based on understanding that this is someone who knows and has experience or has a deeper connection versus someone who may be like a service provider who may not fully understand but wants to assist. Safe Streets has been amazing in taking that unique characteristics that they have had and being able to reinvest back into the community to rebuild that trust, to make it easier for us to provide the services.
When you talk about services, I saw you guys have set up shop in the Brooklyn Homes Community Center. Is that still ongoing? And for the people who were going there, what can they find when they're looking for help?
We have services ranging from employment opportunities, mental health services, food giveaways. So whatever the need is, we try to meet it. And if we don't have it, we look for another partner who can kind of bring that to the table.
Okay. For right now, as we move into a year away, and we're going to probably have another Brooklyn Day coming up, what is your hope for that community going forward right now?
So we're not having another Brooklyn Day, but we are having a Brooklyn Healing Day.
Oh, okay.
And in that Healing Day, the focus is going to be centered around creating a safe space, honoring the lives that were impacted by the events of last year, providing mental health resources. There'll be meditation clinics, yoga. We have some spiritual avenues for people to understand how to process their grief. There'll be food. It's going to be fun. We don't want Brooklyn Day and the events of last year to ever re-traumatize these residents. What we want to do is create something that offers tools and outlets for them to still show the love for their community, but express it in a way that's honoring what has happened, but creating a clear path of moving forward to just growth, expansion, and
still respect the fact that trauma still exists.
Correct.
I mean, we could be 5 years away and people could still feel the same effect.
People are going to remember this for years to come, but we want to, again, make them know that we are here for them, that the city is behind them. Mayor Scott is intentional about there being continued support offered through Brooklyn Homes, through that site specifically to its residents. So this is not something that we're just here for the moment. We're going to be a continued and a steadfast fixture within that community.
Sure.